Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, February 6th. And the big headlines is we're going to have some more snow coming up over the next week. I see about 2 to 3 systems that could add quite a bit of snowfall, especially for southern lower Michigan. System coming in tonight will be a weak system, but it could bring anywhere from a trace around the Alma, Mount Pleasant area and up to maybe 1 to 3 inches once you get down around Lansing and areas from there south. And then we're going to watch the system, a clipper system, for late this week, and that could bring maybe as much as 3 to 6 inches of snow from around Muskegon to Saginaw areas on off to the south. And then yet another system may come in as we get later in the weekend, and that could bring another 3 to 6 inches if the European is right. The GFS is weaker and further south with that system. But again, overall, pretty snowy pattern coming up over the next 7 days. Yesterday we had a high of 19, a low of 5, with 2/100ths of an inch of precipitation, about 4/10ths of an inch of snow. We got 4 inches of snow on the ground, up to 28.3 inches of snow so far now for the season. That's 70% of what we normally see in an entire season. And the low this morning was 13 degrees. And out there this morning, you can see temperatures are mainly in the teens. Colder as you get down to southeast lower Michigan and into the Thumb area where there's a little more in the way of clearing. Again, pretty chilly morning out there. Our normal high for the day is 28, and normal low is 10, so not too far from normal. And again, record precipitation for this day. Back in 1909, we had 1.8 inches of precipitation, and we also had a record snowfall for the day to 4 inches on that same day. Probably quite a bit of rain that turned to snow and accumulated somewhat. I'm going to guess something. I'll have to take a look at some of the surface maps from back then. You can see so far for the month of February, well below normal, 7 degrees below normal per day. On the satellite view this morning, you can see where the cold air is in place. And then here comes our next weather system that'll be coming out of the plains, meeting up with some energy dropping down from the northwest. And again, that'll bring some more snow into the area sometime tonight into early tomorrow morning, with accumulations, especially once you get from Lansing off to the south, even into Tri-Cities area. I think we could see a trace to an inch of snow. And on the radar, you can see the system that brought some of the snow yesterday now well off to the east. Here's our next system developing in the plains, with some energy dropping again out of the northwest. These will merge up, move to the east across northern or central Indiana and Ohio, bringing snow, especially to southern lower Michigan. Again, not a lot, but we keep building to our snowpack. If we look at the weather map for today, you can see that next weather system that'll be coming out of Nebraska and moving in later on, out of Nebraska. And from this blue line south, I think that's where the best chance we could see maybe an inch or two, maybe 3 inches of snow. Again, we'll keep an eye on that system. And then if we jump ahead to Thursday, this is going to be the weather maker that we're going to watch for later this week. And again, as that system begins to move down to the southeast and team up with a cold front, we're going to see a pretty good clipper system develop, I think, as we get into Friday night into Saturday. And again, I think many areas could see 3 to 6 inches, and that could be a pretty windy system as well. And if we look at the precipitation from the WPC as far as snowfall over the next 72 hours, you can see not nearly as much to the north, but even there, another inch or two will add to the snowpack, with 2 to 3, maybe even 4 inches of snow once you get down into southwest lower Michigan. They'll also have some lake enhancement. That's why we expect more snow there. As far as the next 7 days from the GFS, you can see a large area of southern lower Michigan, anywhere from around 4 inches once you get up towards Harrison, Houghton Lake, Clare, in that area, down to about a half a foot of snow from around Alma and Saginaw back to Muskegon, off to the south and east. And again, this area in the dash line, this is the European model, and it would land base the area over the next 7 days with about 10 to 15 inches of snow. So again, with the GFS and the European, it looks like southern lower Michigan, you're going to get quite a bit of snow, and that'll extend into southwest Ontario. Again, a lot of snow expected for the southern Great Lakes. As far as the forecast goes for today, you can see we'll start off with partly sunny skies. It'll be cool, highs in the low 20s, and then that snow moves in tonight with a trace to the north, 3 inches to the south. It'll have some lingering snow showers tomorrow. Another weak system comes in as we get into Thursday. Again, maybe another trace to an inch or two, and then we'll watch that system as we get into Friday, with highs in the low 20s jumping up into the mid to upper 20s as we get into Saturday. Again, about 2 to 6 inches, 2 as you get up towards Mount Pleasant, Clare area, 6 inches once you get to around Alma and off to the south. And then for late Saturday night and Sunday, if the European's right, we'll have almost a repeat of this system here. So we could see another several inches of snow. Again, that one's a little more debatable, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it. But right now, from Friday through the weekend, looks like it could be quite snowy in many areas. As far as weather watch this morning, you can see a large area off to our south of winter weather advisories and winter storm watches as you get into Pennsylvania and New York, and then wind chill advisories off in the Arrowhead of Minnesota back into the Dakotas. And again, not much for us going on right now, but I think that'll change by the end of the week. Things will get a little bit more active here again once we get into Friday. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.